feels like I'm drinking from a fire hose. That's what my clients have said to me, especially when they're at the beginning of their journey. It's taken me to where I am in my journey now to be excited for new tools. And that only comes because I have awareness, education, and practice to categorize those tools so that I can implement them effectively. When I say awareness, education, and practice, what I mean is what fits into this model. 3 distinct phases that helps you begin to feel balanced in practicing positive parenting. In the first circle is awareness. It helps you go from guessing to being confident. It includes practices like self-reflection, value work, and intentional work. Beginning to look in the mirror and see the roles and the tools and the reality of what's going on. It can sometimes feel like going from dark to light. After awareness, we can often move then into education. Awareness helps identify the gaps, and education helps fill those gaps, helping you go from novice to expert. The tactics I encourage are to do things like taking parenting courses, listening to parenting podcasts, taking parenting classes, and reading parenting books, becoming the student so that you can learn those missing tools. When we have awareness of the gaps and when we have education of how to fill those gaps, the last is this bottom piece, which is the practice of it. Going from stalled to taking action. Actually doing the thing that you've learned so that you can become practiced and conditioned in that new tool. In this space, I call out accountability, right? Having someone do it with you to keep you on track and keep you consistent. A community to help you find relatable connections, to help someone say, I see you, I hear you, I get you, so that you don't feel alone. And then coaching from someone that helps you refine and stay on target with where you want to go. And I've found that with all 3, you can begin to feel balanced in this approach. Not perfect in this approach, balanced in this approach. I've been a parenting coach for the past 7 years, and I've begun to hear common themes that highlights where a parent may be stalled in this practice. I've noticed that when I work with parents, when they become stalled between education and practice, it means that they're learning all the tools and they're taking action and practicing the tools, but they're missing that awareness. And so they end up not knowing what to practice and when to practice it. It sounds like I've tried everything and nothing works. Or like what this comment says, lately I feel like I have too many tools and I don't know which ones to use, and it leaves me feeling like I'm at square one again. I want you to know that this is a solvable problem, and perhaps bringing in some awareness and some accountability and some coaching may help get you back on track. I'm going to share some tips at the end of this video that may help give you some awareness on where to go. But for now, I'm going to share about when I see my clients stuck in awareness and practice. What this means is that they know when they want to practice, but they keep pulling from the same toolbox over and over and over again. They keep repeating the patterns. And what this sounds like is like, well, I'm just winging it and I'm doing my best. This is a call-in that we've identified the gaps and you're showing up and practicing tools in those gaps. But let's start to become educated in practicing more effective tools. This is where downloading this free guide may come in handy. It's called Ineffective Parenting Tools, and it's 12 concrete tools that parents use that become ineffective and actually reinforces power struggles with their children. If you liked that guide, you can also purchase the Effective Parenting Tools and start learning how to replace those with new tools. This is awareness work, and this is education work. And finally, when I see a parent stalled between awareness and education, it sounds like, well, I have new tools and I know when I want to use them. I'm just simply not doing it. And what this is a call in is to get into spaces of support so that you can start practicing those tools. Here are my 3 action steps for if you want to organize the tools that you currently have. The first step is I want you to write them all out. What are all of the intentional practices and tools that you're currently using? You can do this by just setting like a 5-minute timer and brainstorming them out. You could also keep your notes app open, and throughout the day, as you're using a strategy, write it down. Next, I want you to organize those tools. So after you have your brain dump of all the tools, I want you to start to look at them and start to categorize them. What you're looking for is identifying the purpose of that tool. The method that I teach my clients in classifying their tools is within the framework of CLEAR. It stands for tools of connections, followed by tools of limits, followed by tools of empowerment, tools of accountability, and finally tools of recovery. My method of positive parenting goes step by step through that method. It's called the CLEAR method. It can be very challenging and very hard and taxing on your bandwidth and energy. Improving your parenting is not always something that's easy and instinctual to do. So having support around you helps keep you focused on improvement and rest and compassion and encouragement. I have a program called the Understanding Us series, and in that series, I say what is practiced is easy. And if we've been practicing ineffective tools, that's what comes easy. And what is hard is unpracticed. If we have not learned and practiced effective parenting tools, then it's going to be hard at first. But then when we practice it, what becomes practiced then becomes easy. So then that's where we can start to see change. So let me know if you saw yourself in that diagram, if you have awareness now of maybe where you're stalled, and if you have questions on how to take the next step forward, leave them in the comments and I will be here to support you.